Hello, people. Listen, I'm going to do this video and a couple reasons. One, I want to talk about, and I started talking about this. I'm sure many of you noticed that what I've been doing lately is sticking with real gangster stuff. And the most important thing is that I've been looking at everything going on in this genre, and it was totally getting out of control. You got shows right now that aren't even talking about gangster stuff. They're tearing apart people's lives, going in the back, taking things out of people's lives that are personal. And I said to myself, is this what I want to continue doing? No. So here's the commitment that I have made. Anybody could say whatever they want about me. They could pull whatever they want to pull out of my past. I'm not going there no more. And I said this the other day, and I've kept my word so far, and I'm going to continue to keep my word. Because you know why? There's a lot of stuff for us to discuss. And if we want to be taken serious, we have to act serious. You know, we can't base our shows on attacking each other. Listen, I'm not trying to say that I'm innocent of this because I'm far from it. I'm probably one of the leading culprits in it. But it ain't happening no more. So my word to everybody out there, you could do all the attacking you want. You could do whatever you want. You could look into my past, come up with a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't matter because you're not getting no more reactions from me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to do my show every day, and it's always going to be talking about something gangster. Why? Because that's what we're supposed to. We can become gangsters. We can become a mafia genre and actually talk about gangster stuff, or we could talk about each other and attack each other. And that's just going to, that's the reality is this. We can attack each other and turn this drama into pure drama. We're definitely going to get more views doing that because people like to see other people fight, attack one another, tear each other apart. But I'm just, with all the stuff going on in my life right now, I'm not in the mood for that crap anymore. It's done, people. And this is my fourth show now that I'm actually doing something that is going to be about gangsters. So from that point, I like to speak about one thing. Sammy Gravano. I started touching on this a little bit the other day when I had Tom Lavecchia on my show. And Sammy Gravano has to be the luckiest gangster that ever lived when you really look at the big picture when it comes to Sammy Gravano. He was born in 1945 and he's 76 years old. Turned 76 in March. And currently he has this huge show when you think about it. He has right now 419,000 people subscribe to his show. Think about that. He's done 137 videos so far. And he started in 2020, so he's not pushing out the videos every day. He doesn't really do live shows. What he does is he drops videos. And what I find so incredible about him, I cannot stand Sammy Gravano. I think that he's an evil man, and I really despise him because of the death of Alan Kaiser and how he's lied about it. But that doesn't matter what I think. Let's look about why is he lucky. Okay, so here he is. He's the underboss for John Gotti. John Gotti starts talking on a tape. Sammy and him get busted. He hears the tape, and he's furious. He hears John Gotti saying everything wrong in the book about him. And he used that for an excuse to rat. And that's what he did. He ratted. So here he is. He's given this huge chance. And he winds up ratting on Gotti, putting Gotti away with a bunch of other people. Most of these people were his friends. He didn't give a shit. It was all about saving his ass. And that's what he did. He saved his ass. So he puts all these guys in prison. And then he's supposed to do 5 years. He does 4 years of the 5 year sentence. And then he gets out and they give him the last name of Moran and he relocates to Arizona. First, he was in Colorado. That's where they originally located him. And then he left there and went down to Arizona. And at that point, he was pretty much living a quiet life. But then we're talking Sammy here. Then he comes out and he does his book. And after his book, he does a show with Diane Sawyer. So here it is. This guy says, I got my whole life together. I'm not going to do any gangster stuff no more. He's known to kill over 20 people, 21 people. He's admitted to ordering the deaths or being part of the murders. So right there, the fact that this man's out of jail in 5 years after murdering all these people is incredible in itself. But what does Sammy do? He's Sammy. He starts a drug empire as Jimmy Moran, because that's his new name while he's down there. And he gets involved with this group called the Devil Dogs with his son, Gerard. And as he's doing, he starts dealing ecstasy and becomes huge down there. And all over Arizona, he's working with a white supremacist group, motorcycle gangs. You think about it, he's doing it. He's working with everybody, pushing these drugs out. And then what happens is the state police get a hold of the information. People start flipping. And all of a sudden, Jimmy Moran's name comes up. And they don't know who Jimmy Moran is. So they start doing investigating, the Arizona State Police. And Lord behold, it turns out that he's Sammy Gravano. And they're like, wow. So the Arizona State Police know that if they let the federal government know that they got this guy, right, and they're investigating him and they got him on wiretaps and everything, that if they tell the federal government's going to come in and shut everything down. Because he's embarrassing the federal government at this time. So what they say is, okay, we're going to take this case as long as we can. We're going to put everything together. We're going to keep it away from the feds for as long as we can, because they don't want the feds to come in and let Sammy go, grab him and take him away, because they're embarrassed, because the feds are thinking to themselves, what are we going to do when people find out that one of our guys, not only one of our guys, the biggest snitch of all time, Sammy Gravano, is running a drug empire in Arizona? So public relations, it's a disaster. So what they do is Arizona puts the case together and eventually they arrest him. They wind up giving his son Gerard 9 years. His daughter's involved, and she gets off with probation and a huge fine, as does the wife. And all sorts of stuff comes out in these wiretaps, including that Sammy wanted to kill his son's girlfriend. He also wanted to kill another son-in-law, brother-in-law, a different one than the original one that he killed. So he's still down there being pure evil, doing what he wants to do. And, it came out that he was helping out his kids and everything, and he didn't want them to get involved without him. He wanted to protect them, which was all bullshit, because Sammy was the boss. And Sammy even admitted he was the boss. And the wiretaps and everything pretty much showed that Sammy was the boss and was running things. Sammy doesn't work for anybody. Sammy works for Sammy. Sammy's a leader. He's not a follower. That's just the way the guy is built. So you're talking about 40 people that were busted in this whole entire drug thing. And they're getting sentences like everything. I mean, you name it, they're getting these huge sentences. And Sammy gets sentenced. And he gets sentenced to 20 years. And at that time, the federal government realizes what's going on. They step in, but there's not much they could do at this time because he's been sentenced. And the state made sure that they kept the federal government out of it as long as they can. So it was a smart move by the state of Arizona. Okay, and so what happens though, he's scheduled to get out in 2019. And then Sammy, being Sammy, who's the luckiest guy going, he winds up getting out in 2017, 2 years earlier than when he's originally supposed to get out. I guess he's been behaved, and it's a quick 17 years. I mean, time just flew by. Well, 15 years actually. Time flew by. So he gets out. And here you got Sam. He's out. By this time, they scraped up all his money. He's brokered and shit. He ain't got no money this time out. The first time out, he had money. The federal government worked out a deal and let him keep a lot. They let him keep a lot of his money. Not this time. So here he is. He doesn't know what he does, what he's going to do. His son Gerard's out by now. His daughter Karen's out. Well, she's all cleaned up. She's done Mob Wives. So they realize that there's a chance here that they could do something with television. But instead, they decide to do something with a podcast. And so Sammy starts podcasting. He sits down. In the beginning, if you notice the difference, he didn't have that much money behind him in the beginning, but he started putting out his stories and they were pretty exciting. Next thing you know, they started building up. Then people jumped in and said, look, we want to be part of your show, Sammy. We can help you out. And so they helped him out and made his show bigger, more professional, gave him writers, producers. And at this time, his son Gerard has a lot to do with it. So here they are. They have this show and they're putting it together and it started to take off. And now, at this point, right now, as of today, he's at 419,000 subscribers. He has had 51 million views. I'll give you an example. My little channel is about to get 500,000 views in 3 months, which is a lot. But you're talking about Sammy has 51 million views in about a year and a half. Maybe a little bit less than a year and a half, which is incredible. So this guy has like lady luck on his side. Everything that he's done in his life, there's no reason Sammy Gravano's in the position that he's in. And now, in the last few months, he started this publicity tour, going everywhere, on Variety, Vlad TV. I mean, he's just showing up everywhere. And every time he does an interview, he steals the show. I mean, he takes control of the room. People listen to him. He has the gift of gab. And here you got this 76-year-old man who has just defied all the odds. Pure lady luck when you think about what he's done. And I'm going to give you another example. He was charged also when he went back to prison for the drug charges. The government was really pissed. So Richard Kolinsky comes out, the Iceman, and says that Sammy ordered him to kill a police officer named Peter Calabro. So, okay. People say, okay, Sammy's probably going to go down for this murder of this police officer. Lo and behold, Rich Kolinsky drops dead in prison. They drop the charges of the police officers being killed. And the reason the government was really coming after him for this murder of Peter Calabro, the police officer, is because when he gave his 302s and he admitted everything to the government. If you leave one thing out, they could drop everything that they've ever done for you, every favor that they've given you, every break you've gotten. They could just drop it all. By this time, it's too late to drop it all, but the government's pissed at Sammy. So they think they're going to get him on this murder of this police officer. But Richard Kolinsky drops dead. There's no witnesses on the stand, but a lot of people don't believe Richard Klinsky anyway. They think that he's full of crap. But they were so pissed at Sammy Gravano, they wanted to take him down for this case. Lady Luck, once again, he doesn't go down for this case whatsoever. And now we come to now. We're talking about what Sammy has done. His show's building up. MTV picks up some other stuff. He's making money legally, honestly, probably for the first time in his life. The man's never made money, honestly. Anything that he's gotten, like, okay, say he got home a paycheck for working in the unions when he was in the mafia. Okay, fine. But the reason that he got to this job was because he was a mafia boss and he killed his partners. So here you got Sammy Gravano, who's killed his partners. He's probably done things that we can't even imagine. And here he is with a second chance, third chance, and a fourth chance in life. You know, when he got out of jail out of prison the first time, look at what he did. I mean, he testified against John Gotti. John Gotti died in jail. He just testified against a bunch of other guys. Most of them also died in jail, in prison. And he didn't. Now he's a 76-year-old man. You know, people say he's sick, but if you look at him, he looks like he gets around damn good for a 76-year-old man. I mean, if you look at Vlad TV or Entertainment, and, you know, even when he was on with Michael Franzese, the guy looked like he was in pretty good shape for a 76-year-old man. You know, and the reason I wanted to talk about this is because when I had Tom Lavecchia on the other day, we were just talking about Sammy Gravano. And I just did some research on him and realized there's no reason Sammy Gravano is where he is today. There was a time that he was on every newspaper on the head of a rat. He was considered the biggest rat ever. And then you had Peter Gotti sent two hitmen down to kill him in Arizona. And then he got arrested before they can get to him. Luck again. And look what he's doing now. I mean, the man can die in a year from now. He's probably going to die a millionaire. And he's going to die a millionaire based off of podcasts and YouTube. And, you know, he's getting all sorts of offers when people pay, when he goes on these shows. You know he's getting paid because he brings big views. And, you know, I'm just a small YouTuber. Most of us are small YouTubers compared to Sammy. Made a good point, though, that Sammy doesn't have as many YouTube, say, viewers as Michael Franzese, but probably makes as much money as him. Because a lot of Michael Franzese viewers are a lot of them are from his religious side. And they stayed his viewers, but they probably don't watch the mafia stuff that he does. So the chances are him and Michael Franzese are making about the same amount of money. And, you know, then you have his daughter, well-educated. You know, she's on YouTube and stuff. She's making money. You know, Gerard's making money. So all these people are making money off their father. And who would have thought? When Sammy Gravano went to jail on those drug charges, do you think that anybody ever thought he was going to see the day of light again? The light of day again. I'm sorry, not the day of light, the light of day. Nobody thought that. And here he is. You know, whether you like him or hate him, Sammy Gravano is an amazing story. People could say he's a snitch. They could say whatever. Sammy has so much power that Gotti's won't even talk about him because they know that all he has to do is come out and say, John's a rat, John Jr. is a rat, or something like that. and he would just end any hope they had for doing the stuff they're coming out. So that's basically why they're leaving Sammy alone. And I just find it fascinating. I wanted to talk about that. I hope that you people enjoyed that. And the rebirth of Sammy Gravano proves one thing, that any of us as human beings can do just about anything wrong in this world. And if we have lady luck on our side, like Sammy had, the type of guy you want to take to the casino with you is a guy like Sammy, because he's one lucky bastard. That's just my brief for today. And I'm going to do like little segments like this and talk about gangsters. It's going to be part of the new makeup of the Lee Call 3 show. And like I said, once again, commitment to you people, staying out of the fray and putting out good product. Everybody take care. Thank you. Oh, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please get me to 3,000. I'd really appreciate it. Everybody take